Gaethje's going to fight Barboza, and I have to tell you guys, I love the fight. I loved it from the moment I heard it was going to happen. I look forward to seeing it, and I don't know if I could articulate for you guys why, right? It is not a contender's fight. It is not a title fight. It is not a super fight. It is a main event. It is with two killers. They don't have a personal grudge. They don't have a history. They don't have a backstory. Okay, great. A lot of times you end up in these spots where you don't have it. But it just makes it very tough for me to tell you guys the story as to why you're going to want to watch. Telling you the story becomes tough. I know why myself. I've watched maybe all of Justin Gaethje's fights. Maybe. If I haven't, I've watched maybe one or two slip through the cracks somewhere in the smaller ranks. But I was with him over the World Series of Fighting. So I saw his fights before he broke on and maybe became familiar with you guys. Barboza. So skilled, so fast. Both of these guys mean. Gaethje has this toughness that you cannot possibly not admire and respect. Barboza has these leg kicks that you can't possibly not fear. You can hear them when they land. It is like a baseball bat being swung into his opponent's thighs, ribs, head. It is a scary thing. I'll tell you how scary it is. Justin Gaethje, when he came over to the UFC, said, and I quote, "I want the scariest fight." And the scariest fight that I can think of is Barboza because I have nightmares about that guy kicking me, end quote. That's powerful. That's a tip of the hat. That's not your typical trash talk, as guys so falsely, continually engage in. But it is some interesting talk. And it is very interesting. After admitting he had nightmares about a guy kicking him, he finishes that thought by saying, "So I'd like to fight with that guy." Okay. That's not usually how fights are promoted, but guess what, Justin? You just won me over. You just taught us something new, and you win. So let's go ahead and do it. I still feel as though I'm struggling with telling you guys what the compelling storyline of this contest is. I know, as a hardcore fan that watches everything, I know exactly why I want to see it. I know exactly why something special is going to happen. I know exactly why the other guys in the back are all going to go and take a seat. They're going to come out from the back. They're not going to watch that on a monitor. They're going to come out to their seats and take a seat. They're going to get a nacho and a soda and look forward to it. I know the respect and the honor. I know the pain. I know the toughness. I know the grit. I know everything that's on the line. But I don't know how to tell you guys. I don't. It's easier to tell you guys when there's some kind of a personal grudge or backstory or fool behavior or this guy's a good guy or this guy's a bad guy. It's just easier. This is a harder story to tell. But I can tell you something special is going to happen. This fight does not go 25 minutes. And whenever I break a fight down for you guys, I always assume it will. Even in the fights that don't. Represents the majority of the fights that we really want to see. But I always, when I give an analysis, because that's really important for the intangibles, what's going to happen in the third round? Who seems to hold up better? What's going to happen in the championship rounds? Should it be a five-fight contest? 5-round contest. So it's really important, and that's the way that my mind works. On this one, I am very comfortable in sharing with you guys in advance that my prediction, absolutely no way. It just doesn't go 5 rounds. You just can't fight the way these guys fight and make it that long. Now, when I brought that up with my producer, Nick, he actually threw a curveball at me. He said, Chael, I don't know if you've been following Justin Gaethje lately, but Justin Gaethje is more than happy to come out and tell anybody who will listen that he's going to go back to his wrestling. Not just because of the Barboza matchup, that was his plan after his last 3 fights, is to go back and do more wrestling. After all, he is an All-American wrestler. Well, that's true. And that would be a wrench into what I'm predicting for you guys. That would throw a wrench into things if Gaethje was to come out and start to try to just wrestle and smother. If he watched the Khabib fight against Barboza and got inspired by it and said, okay, I know how to go out and fight this guy. My pushback would be, and it was to Nick and it will be to you guys as well, Barboza's defense is as such. that unless you are as powerful of a wrestler as Khabib, most other wrestlers don't succeed in wrestling with him. They just don't, unless they can really lure him into a fight, unless they really come out and lure him into a stand-up battle and spend meaningful amounts of time in the stand-up range, and get Barboza to turn that switch off in his head that says, hey, I got to protect my lower body from a takedown attempt. If you go out and do that, I have seen some guys who I would put on the same level of just pure straight wrestling as Gaethje have success. Outside of that, I don't think so, though. I think you got a stand-up battle. And I think that Barboza is just too damn powerful. And Justin Gaethje is just too damn mean to possibly allow another person to go all 25 minutes with him. I think you're going to see something fun. I will admit to you fully, I am struggling with telling you why. The story of this fight is a hard one to tell. And heavens knows, neither one of those knuckleheads came out and did it for us. Neither one of those guys told us why. But there's still something special there, isn't there? And we all do remember the day that that fight got announced, and we all have marked it on our calendar, and we have counted down those moments. So even if the story going in is a tough one to tell, and it is, the fact that something meaningful and entertaining and possibly historic, whoa, what a compliment. What a compliment I just gave them. Possibly something historic happens in that fight. We're going to have to wait and see.